What was the first music you remember hearing as a kid?
Wow, probably back in the very early 50s. Mom always had the radio on back home, and Hank Williams was, he was a big guy back then. And all the old, back in just the old stuff.
What did your mom like?
Mom liked country music and pretty much any music that came out, because back then you didn't have that much of a variety like you do now.
Oh, yeah.
So we were kind of raised on country music, and then as my brothers grew older, each one had their own preference. Like your dad, he really liked Brenda Lee, so we had every Brenda Lee song. My other brothers liked rock and roll, so they got the rock and roll stuff, and each one was an individual. And I was lucky to have, I was the fifth youngest, so the other four before me all had their own individual likes. So I really grew up on all kinds.
You're lucky.
Great.
Lucky.
Yep.
Who was the first artist or musician that really spoke to you?
Probably Hank Williams. Way back when, yeah. But I was, before I went to school.
Was it his voice? Or what
just
he was
a sad voice. And,
we
didn't have a TV, so just, like you're thinking and you're hearing these songs and all these things are going through your mind.
Yeah.
Wow, with him, a song was a life. And in my mind, it came alive. It was awesome.
Great storyteller.
Oh, he was one of the best storytellers ever.
What was the first 45 or album that you remember buying?
Oh, boy. I never really bought a lot myself, but all my brothers did. And I remember going down to get, I think it was Keith, Four Strong Winds was one of them. And I remember my brother Roy sent me down to get Maggie May. It was on 45. It was at Woolworths. Golf.
Nice. What was your first live music experience?
Wow, my first live one, not counting immediate, like you mean professional?
Professional.
Oh, wow. Probably in Guelph, I went with my two brothers to see Jerry Lee Lewis. And man, did he make that piano talk. I remember that like it was just today. Awesome.
That's great. What do you feel about the music of today?
I think the music of today, everybody has their own individual. And having said that, these kids that are getting older and making music, well, they're individuals too. And I think all kinds of music, just because I don't like it, that doesn't mean anything. It needs to be respected. Like I'm not big on your music, but I'm big on you, and I respect your music. And I have a grandson that's into rap. I'm not into rap, but because it's him, I respect that. And I think more people need to be like that.
Oh, for sure.
Just because you don't like it, that doesn't mean you can't listen to it,
Who are some of the new artists that you like?
Oh, boy. A lot of the new country guys I like, but I still kind of like the old stuff the best, But say Johnny Cash, I remember hearing him way back when I was 7 or 8 years old. And wow, my aunt had electricity, and she had a what do you call it, gramophone back then, I guess. And Bobby, your dad, your grandpa went out and he bought Johnny Cash LP. And honest to God, I went out a few days ago and bought the same one, and it's in my car right now.
How appropriate that he's playing right now.
It is.
It was almost meant to be.
Johnny Cash was one of the major influences because he wrote it from his heart, And you got to realize a lot of this rap stuff, that's from the heart too,
Presented in a different way.
Absolutely, yes, that's right.